Hello friends, welcome again to my YouTube channel today where I share some great ideas. Today I have a really great idea. I think it's my next development in this hydroponic Kracky method. But before I show you that, I thought I'd just do a little bit of review. And last time I folded up one of the growing tubes, and before that I showed you a number of containers that I've got on the table here. One of the ones that I used, of course, is these kind, the containers with the come from milk or juice or something like that. And I use these a lot and plan on keep using. They're quite good because they're fairly dense and they don't grow a lot of algae. And while you're developing the small plants, it doesn't take so long, so a little bit of algae doesn't have a chance to really permeate the roots and make a real mess in there. So they're good, they're fantastic. Light doesn't penetrate them that good. And the other container, I started out using these single, and the light penetrated through and they soon got a lot of algae and it was yucky in there, etc. And again, these are used for the smaller plants. So then I accidentally came up with the idea, well, you can put several together and then block it off. And I found if you hold your fingers on the outside and look when the light's shining there, you can see your fingers through one fairly clearly. 2, you can still see it. 3, you can still see it a little bit. And 4. So you need at least an extra 2 or 3 or 4 containers, and it's a good way to use them up instead of throwing them away. But the trouble with these type of containers is it's good, let's say in the winter and the spring when you're not out doing stuff. They don't hold a lot of water, so and as your plant grows bigger, it's going to evaporate more water, so you have to change it quite often. So you need to go to a bigger container, and that's where I come up one day. Well, I actually watched Roger Van Duzy videos, some of them, and he said that put your plant in a gallon jug, fill it up, and let it, and that's it. You don't have to do nothing to it, and eventually you can just harvest it, and when it runs out of water, I guess. But he was doing bok choy that time. He had a whole slug of them and just cut them off. And I come up with these containers here. And this is a lemon juice container. And it's got quite thick plastic because lemon juice is an acid, and then in shipping they don't want it to break. And I've used a lot of these. I drink some lemon juice every morning. There's a reason for that, and I could tell you about that sometime. So anyway, searched around, I come up with over a dozen of these jugs, which is fantastic. Then I just cut the top right off of them with the chop saw. Actually, you can cut it off with any type of saw. This is my next experiment in trying these out. So then you just take these. You got these all set up with the roots and everything on there, okay? And you don't have to change anything. You just take that out and put that in the thing there. And it's just it's a little smaller than the 2-inch, so it fits there kind of snug. You don't need the thing in there. So okay, now I can just leave this plant for a long time. I don't have to change the water. And now that it's summertime, you don't have a lot of time to change water. So the gallon idea is quite good. Now I'll just want to review something else here before I show you the main thing, and that's the jig that I made. A little different than what Mike uses, but I really like it. You put this you put out 3 inches, and you don't have to mark it. This was kind of a wonky deal, but I keep using it. and then you can heat your heat gun. You can heat on the outside here and all around here. If it's totally down to here, and you have to shoot in the inside, and it's hard to get. But with this way, you can heat on the outside, and then do your thing here, and you got your hands, fingers, clamps, whatever. And see if I can get this down here a little bit, okay? And the clamp, especially this wood one, that tries this one here, when you get that soft, you saw me do this in the last video, it goes right in there so nice, and you can just squeeze it down and it takes the heat out, and then you can also go this way, and this way, and you end up with nice sharp clean bends there. It just works like fantastic. The heat gun that he uses is quite powerful, so he's able to do it, but if you buy one out of the store, maybe it's not as powerful. And being able to heat on the outside and all around there, it really works good. I'm going to continue using that. Okay, so as you can see here, my hydroponics has done quite well. I'll just shine this a little closer for you. Okay, there we go. And in fact, you start out with quite a few plants. You can't even eat them as fast as they grow. And so this is this one here. As you can see, you can get quite big ones, but you have to add water to it. That's in one of the milk containers. And I got some nice big lettuce there, so that's going to have to be chowed down quite quick. And then, of course, and this one here is that downspout tube. And it's fantastic, beautiful green leaves. And in the background there, that's Chinese greens there. So it's been successful, but now it's summertime. You don't have as much time in the summer to be checking containers and bottles and whatever. And for the first time you do it, it's kind of fun. You have a lot of containers you do, and you put your fluid in there and so on and so forth, and you're just happy as a lark. But now I want to go to a different stage, and you won't see this one on the internet, at least not how I'm doing it, so you need to pay attention now. So I'm on my deck, I guess, right now, and I got a little deck outside my house, and the wind, we've had a lot of wind this year, and it blows from the west, which is kitty corner to my deck. So it's when I'm looking like this, it's blowing in my face, but not today. Today's our first day that we had some wall-to-wall sunshine. So you'll see what happened here. I had to make a divider here. I just made it a couple days ago to protect my plants that I have on the end of the deck from the wind. So let's go take a look at what I got behind that divider. Okay, back here you can see that I've got plants in a long tube. The top tube is a piece of some sort of plumbing pipe that I found, and it's really good because it's very thick. It's a thick wall one that must be 3/16 of an inch thick. And then down here I've got the downspout tubes, as you can see there, with plants in those. And here's the bottom one here that is going to have to grow some more and then I'll have that one in there. Okay, and down here on the corner here you can see all this these gallon jugs that I was telling you about, and that's all got Swiss chard in it, and we've been eating Swiss chards for the last month or so. I think we just had some for supper tonight, and so next week going to have another cutting here. So and these gallon jugs, it probably won't take much care. Okay, and this is the center one. This one here is baby romaine lettuce. I thought I'd give you that a try. And this plants here are arugula, okay? And up here, this whole gadget here, and you saw that in the last video, I believe, that's the red romaine lettuce. So by the time I get that stuff eaten on the table, I'm going to have to start eating here. So what's unique about this is I didn't want to have to keep adding water or fluid, hydroponic mix. So my idea was to, and you can see here, is I've got a pipe going up there and then these little tubes that come down here, and that goes into there. And then this tube comes out at the level of the fluid in there and goes back down and drains into a bucket. And down on the very bottom here, I've got a bucket with fluid in there. You might think, well, this is more commercial type stuff, but it's still a Kracky method. It's just that I'm adding water basically automatically. And my idea was, but it probably doesn't work out too well, is at this point is a timer. I was going to use a timer, so it would just come on for a period of time every day and keep them full. But the timer, I'm not sure whether this timer works. I'm going to look for another one where I can adjust the time electronically. That's totally manual, and it goes on too long of a time period. Now in my bucket I have my fluid there, as you can see, and at the bottom there I've got a fountain pump. You can buy those online. I got that one from Amazon, and a lot of the fountain pumps are only 2 feet or so. This one I found would raise 7 feet, which I've got there, and it pumps up, supposed to be 80 gallons an hour, but I just need a little bit, so you don't need very much thing there. Now I'll just bring this up here, and there's my tube. Now what I've used is you can get these drip irrigation little gadgets. You can buy them probably, I don't know, Home Depot or someplace, but you get a lot of that stuff online. I got it from a drip irrigation place years ago. So these you just pop a little hole in there and then that pushes in there. And then I had some of these little valves here. Where's the valve? So you can actually adjust the water flow in there. And the pump is adjustable for flow. I've got it adjusted down to the very minimum, and it still puts out a lot of water. And the idea, it's possible it shoots out more water than it can return, so you can keep the level right. Now I'll just switch over to here. Now the top one is, this one here, is where I was going to have my level, and it was a little too high, so then I made one down here. And those little fittings that fit into that 1/4-inch tube don't have a big hole in it, and since that's under more pressure and this is just overflow, I just epoxied the thing in there so there was no restriction, and it seems to be working quite well. So there's that one. That's the top one, and we'll come over here. Here's the next one. That tube comes down, and I just put it, where is it going here? Into the top. Right there. Right there. Okay, that one goes into the top there. And then I just popped a hole through the side here and epoxied that in too. And of course I've done the same with the bottom one there, as you can see. So this will be this system here will take minimum care, and this winter I've got a room with a swim spa in it, and I'm going to just make shelves. You don't have to, I won't have posts, of course, but hopefully use this system through the winter here. and make it a little bit more user-friendly, you might say, so we don't have to keep adding water. But I've just got this little space here. The deck is quite big, so if you're living in an apartment or something like that with a little deck that's, say, 4 feet wide and 6 feet long, you can grow all the food that you can eat right there. It just this method is fantastic, and this little simple arrangement I've done with the pump and the little standpipe there, and a couple little tubes, it makes it usable. Yeah, so anyway, this seems to be working quite well. So I'll just shoot out here for a second here so you can see what it looks like here. That mountain over there is about a mile high from our ground level here, and it's only half a mile. It starts up, it's only about a half a mile away. It looks quite small there, but it's just a fantastic view, so really enjoy it here. Anyway, I'll just close this right now. Well, I hope that worked out okay back there. I was holding the camera and I'm a little shaky. If I try to hold it in one hand, I need to stabilize it with two. But if it's too bad, when I edit it, I'll make a new one. Anyway, yeah, it's been really great just experimenting with this method here. I think there's a lot of advantages for people living in urban areas especially. I've got 40 acres here, but it's still going to be great here because we live in the north. And so there's a long time between edible food in the garden. Like right now, the garden doesn't have anything. It's a few little, just some of the seeds are sprouting, but nothing there. So you can have stuff here, extend the season by a number of months each way, or maybe even all winter. We'll see how it goes this winter. I'll have some videos there then too. I'll have to update you then. But this kind of ends my Kracky method there. There's so much stuff on the internet that you can get ideas from. Of course, I mentioned Mike Van Doozy with Keep On Growing. And there's a number of other really good ones too. So pick up ideas here and there, and I hope I have some ideas that weren't on some of those sites that maybe some of them didn't think of. So anyway, I mentioned last time about mixing your nutrients. Now, everybody seemed to have a different way of doing it. I've watched a number of them, so maybe I'll throw mine in too. When I mix them in the house because that's where my nutrients mixes are and stuff like that. And you fill up a 5-gallon pail and you lug it out. I had stuff in the greenhouse. Right now I'm out on the deck, which is a lot closer, but that's a heavy old pail. So I fill it up a third full of warm water so the things will dissolve quite easily. And then I just pack it out, a light bucket out to the greenhouse or wherever I'm going to use it, and then I use the water hose and fill it up the rest of the way. So that's another method you can do too. That might be if you have to carry your water a long ways. Anyway, take care, and hope you enjoyed this little video here and maybe give you some ideas how to make an automatic watering system, and that takes a little while to work the bugs out. Like those little valves I have on there, I actually need to adjust those down because I found that if you had it on too long, the siphon tubes on the way out to maintain your level couldn't quite keep up. Anyway, subscribe and we'll come up with something new, maybe some more motorcycles. Anyway, bye for now. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the root on one of these plants. This is in that gallon jug there, see? So this is my gallon jug, and I just go up and 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 up, and they can reach all the way to the bottom if you have a gallon jug. Anyway, that's my last story.